and some of the things that they were saying, and very similar style interviews, you all. Also, I do want to say Katt Williams always kind of reminded me of Prince, short, light skin, dark black hair, and their voices sound alike. And then it's so funny that it was revealed that they were kind of like friends, unbeknownst to me behind the scenes. And I was like, that is very interesting. And then he also said that he met Prince when he was at the age of 12. I don't know how he was afforded that opportunity, being that um, he was, I think, emancipated out of the house or left the house at 12. I don't know how he and Prince met up. He never did go into the backstory of that. Some things I do kind of question, like when he left home at 12, at the age of 12, how did that happen? He didn't go into a lot of details about it. Also, he ended up with being a single parent father. How did that happen? Who was the mother? Was she on drugs? Like, a lot of the things I do have questions about, some of the things that he has had spoken about. But let's continue to hear what he had to say, y'all.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to
Stop
announce that
playing with me.
Knowledge and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing.
Now, I want you all to think about what he's saying right now about the Money Mike character, right? Because honestly, could y'all see anybody else playing Money Mike besides Katt Williams? That's when you know someone was meant for the script. When you cannot picture anybody else playing that role but that particular character, then you know that person was meant to play that role. So I don't even think Ricky Smiley could have fit the shoes to play a Money Mike. It would have not turned out the same. It wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't have been the same movie. Sometimes you have to let down your ego and say, you know what? Shout out to this person. I give you high regards to you. You did your part. You did your thing. You know, I don't think I probably could have played that part. And just give someone their credit and congratulate them. Why does it always have to be such a competition all the time? So that's the thing. You know, it's very sad that this is taking place and going on, even in the comedic arena. But every time melanated people get together, it's always some type of competition going on, y'all. I think my hairpiece fell out. Here it is. All right, so let's continue on here.
Just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Yeah, he's talking about the strategy that he went through to you know, reach the height of his career and things like that, how he studied other comics. And you know, I've been to see Katt Williams a few times. I would say about twice, at least I've seen him twice in person, and I've seen Kevin Hart twice in person not too long ago. I didn't have to pay for either time that I went to go see Kevin Hart. Between the two, what I will say is that, in my personal opinion, and this is something that I particularly noticed about the two of them, is that Kevin Hart tries to stay away from, and this is just what I've observed, Kevin Hart tries to stay away from like any type of political subject matter dealing with politics. He stays away from that because In my personal opinion, I think he is too more concerned about his brand, not offending anyone. He won't talk about the truth, even though it is the truth that's smacking you right in the face. He's all about trying not to tarnish his brand when it comes to not speaking about social issues or social injustices, especially when it deals with melanated people. Um, Katt Williams doesn't seem to be afraid to talk about much, hardly anything, and he'll take that risk. And I think that's why more people gravitate towards Katt Williams now. On a higher level of celebrity, who do I think is the bigger celebrity? I think maybe Kevin Hart has been given more, I would say he's been given more opportunity over the course of his career because of the way that he has played his cards. So like he divorced, cheated on his melanated wife, went and got an Asian wife. He does, the signature Hollywood stuff that a lot of the melanated men do in that celebrity status. So once I saw that, and then he still turned around and cheated on her birthday while she was pregnant. So that speaks to the type of character. And then on top of that, he goes on to sue Tasha K because it came out that he was cheating on his wife even after that stuff happened. And I think Tasha K did an interview with Kevin Hart's assistant. So there's some things going on with that. So why would he be trying to sue Tasha K if something were not true? Now he's trying to claim that Tasha K was trying to extort him for $200,000. I think a couple of years ago, Kevin Hart was saying that allegedly one of his so-called friends tried to extort him because there was a tape that surfaced with him cheating on his wife while out in Vegas, I believe, and maybe they wanted money for it. So you see, Kevin Hart seems to continue to have these character issues of being not so honest with the one person that you're supposed to love and cherish the most. That is supposed to be your wife, the mother of your children, the person that you took vows with. So if you can do that to someone that is supposedly that close to you, that you're supposed to love and cherish, and in sickness and in health, and take them for better or for worse, that gives birth to your children, right? Then what will you do to someone else in the industry that's not related to you, that you did not marry, that you don't go to sleep with at night, right? So who's to say what any of these people will do with these type of character flaws? That's all I'm saying. But let's hear what Katt Williams has to say, y'all. All right, and let's see. We're going to share. Yeah, go ahead. Add them back to the stage. All right, here we go, y'all.
I gotta lay it down at the altar.
You know every comedian.
This is the other side of Kirk Franklin prank. This is the reckoning. 2024. The reckoning.
You watch it. You know every comedian that's been on my show. You watched every episode.
No, that's not what you said. You said I know every comedian.
You know every comedian.
You're limiting me.
Oh, you watched every episode because you know things. You know things.
That's always where I'm trying to come from, whether it's comedic or otherwise. That's why even if you see me get arrested 10 times in a row on TV, as a fan of mine, you can be like, he finna be right out. Yeah, but they just said he didn't do it. He couldn't have.
You know what? Katt Williams is a likable person. Let's continue to move on here because he's going to say some more stuff towards the latter part of the interview. The first part was more so talking about his background, but he initially started off talking about Ricky Smiley right away. Yeah, he went in on Ricky, and he said what he had to say, y'all.
So you believe if your talent doesn't support it, you should fall by the wayside, and the guys that have the talent and they get elevated, they should move.
No, that's what water says. That's what the universe say. The universe say the levels. No, I don't. Not I say. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I'm working every day as if I think that's what
should happen.
is how it should be. And I'm choosing comedians that also write and work hard and don't steal other people's material. And I'm making sure that they all make $300,000 a season. And I'm making sure that they're not ever signed to me or my conglomerate. And that's why they're successful. No, you can work with me and still be an independent businessman, boss owner like you came in.
Right.
I don't need you to be subservient to me. That's those other guys that make you pay dues.
You said earlier that you rewrote a lot of what Money Mike was to say and how he behaved. So they allowed you the freedom, the liberty to ad lib. How much?
What I'm saying if I did it and I did a good job at it, you can thank me. I was involved.
Right.
I'm not going to come later on and tell you, I never even read the whole script. So how you know what roles? What? What do you mean you never read the well, women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared.
All right, let's rewind this back, y'all. This is interesting.
This is when you started out. I mean, Eddie Murphy not telling those jokes. Richard Pryor wouldn't be able to tell those jokes in 2024 that they told in the 70s and the 80s.
So they wouldn't have told them.
But that's my point.
They're not inferior people.
No.
If they were in this time, they would be going according to our time. Just like then we were going.
So basically, Katt Williams made the point that Ricky Smiley always played the same character every time he had a comedy show. And that was that old lady, what's her name? Bernice Jenkins or something like that. He's playing the organ, the old lady at the church. That's all he would ever do. Or either he would play Lil Durrell, Dairr, and Lil Durrell. So he was saying that he was making fun of the mentally challenged, if you will. And he's saying that there's a place and time for everything, but, you know, some people could have taken offense to that. And so basically then they start talking about, you know, that whole situation. So that's what they're going into now.
Going according to that. Like, that's how it is in the world. There are words that we can use for a while. And when we use them for a while until somebody says that ain't a good word, we should stop saying that.
Correct.
That don't make people feel good. And we stop saying the word and we move on to another word. You can't say the R word. You can certainly say special needs.
Yeah.
You can certainly say spectrum.
Be slow.
You there are things that you can say to get your point that don't have to hurt people.
Right.
But you would know that if what you did was construct the English language for a living, then you would understand that part.
You financed your first stand-up. You had it cost you $22,000. You had 25 to your name.
Just stopped caring about guitar, and he got left out on a limb and somehow still had to create his way out of that. He was just really a 1 in a billion type person. I was lucky to know him.
Okay, so he was talking about
now,
Prince.
Their specials and the streaming. I don't know. I don't think there's as many, and there's no DVDs now. So where are you on this streaming, the specials? I mean, obviously you still tour, but how much do you focus on? Okay, I'm gonna tour, say 100 days or 150 days, but I'm gonna do a special.
Well, now that our relationship with Netflix is at the 8-figure mark,
8?
How
you said 8?
How often you want to make them?
Oh, you said 8? I mean, like right. 5, 6, 7, 8?
Got to be 10 million to qualify, yeah. So what I'm saying is, once you're at that level, how many would you do? I'd be willing to bet you say, every time you turn around, I'm gonna be doing another one. Hey. I think that's what you would say if you was any good.
Yeah.
And like I said, with 12 comedy specials, why do I need to be in these conversations with these specialist people? Sid ain't got no specials you remember. Steve ain't got no specials you remember. Ricky ain't got no specials you remember. Faison ain't got no. What? So why do y'all get
special?
Yep, it was 20 minutes long.
It was good too, though.
It was. He's good. Not it was good. He's good.
See,
he's good. Don't think because I said something derogatory that I don't know how to hate. Earthquake has consistently. I don't think anybody's ever said Quake wasn't funny.
I don't know if this.
Bam. Hello. All right, y'all. They about to do another commercial. So as you can clearly see, he's just going, giving his honest opinion about the comedians that he's worked with in the past. But a lot of people are going to be upset about this interview. As I
read that comedians on your show say that women sometimes would bring them money and not say where it came from.
Now, this is very interesting. So I know a lot of the comedians that were talked about in this interview are starting to come out making statements. I think Kevin Hart has come out saying something. I'm pretty sure Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey will be responding if they haven't already. Cedric may be coming out to say something. Dave Chappelle, he didn't really say anything bad about Dave. Faison Love will probably be saying something. He spoke about a lot of things. Ludacris already came out making a freestyle in response to him. And so this whole situation, this interview has probably sparked a lot of activity out there, y'all. And I think he's actually going on tour. So this was very strategic on his part. I think Katt Williams is a highly intelligent individual. Now, do I think he read 3,000 books in a year? I don't know how true that is. I was not there to witness it. But do I think he's a highly astute individual? Yes, I do. And I think he is a very articulate individual, which definitely sets him apart from a lot of the other comedians. Not to say that they're not articulate, but he has a way with using the English vocabulary to convey his message that works in his favor. And it's very unique to his style of comedy. And I think that's why people gravitate towards him. He has a way of telling the truth, but making it funny and making it relatable. But let's continue on with the interview, y'all.
Bam! Hello, Fresh.
They got a whole nother commercial.
That's a kick is what we're gonna
commercials.
Make you guys know the
shut up. This is irritating. All right.
Say that again.
Comedians would say women would bring them money and not say where it came from.
Right. So I'm not a feminist like a feminist would be, but I do believe that that in my camp, like if I had 35 people in my camp, right? I believe that other than 4 jobs, I believe that a woman is better at any of them jobs than any man could be.
Okay.
So 10 of these jobs, no man can work because I'd rather a female be there. If I got to smell anybody's breath, I want it to be hers. I don't want none of you crusty. So what I'm saying is if in a staffing issue, I'm going to have 75% women just because I prefer them. Right. I don't prefer to hear 2 guys talking in the corner. I prefer to hear 2 ladies talking in the corner. I don't care what they're talking about. I just prefer that. So a lot of times I will utilize ladies to convey a message. If a comedian is doing a great job somewhere in the country, he just did a masterful set and nobody's gonna pay him. They just clapping. And I know he's broke as shit back there. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody just showed up and gave him a little blessing? And he didn't have to suck me off for it. And thanks, Katt. And this, boy, I really needed it. Why would you do that? If you was actually just trying to help people, you would. People know that's how I pay my tithes. If I got paid $100,000 to be at your city, I'm going to take 10,000 of that and put it in your homeless area. Not because I got to. Because you gave me 100 racks to come to your little rinky-dink town. Who would I be to not pay my tithes back to your town? That's how I got in this position. Wow.
He said, wow.
You adopted 7.
He said, wow. So he's like blown away, I guess, by what Katt Williams said. And my whole thing is, why don't more people think like that? You know what I'm saying? After all of the support that these people get, why wouldn't more people think that way about the people that have supported them? He said, wow. So basically, that tells me that he doesn't think that way. He doesn't think about giving back in that way. And now he's going on to ask Katt Williams about the 7 kids that he adopted. So I want to skip kind of past a little bit past that.
Problem getting married.
He's asking about marriage.
His baby in a baby stroller with a diaper bag with a gun in a diaper bag. He won't be doing that hour when we see him this time. It's a whole new conversation. And because I've never strayed from that, they've never strayed from their part.
I'm looking at some of the actors that you've been on screen with. Cube, Tracy Morgan, Regina Hall, Terrence Howard, Nick Cannon, Tiffany. Bro, who brings out the best in Katt Williams? How does someone get the best out of Katt Williams? Do you need a comedian? Do you need a serious actor? How do we get the absolute best out of Katt Williams on screen?
Well, I would be disingenuous if I didn't remind us that that's never anybody's goal. It's never anybody's goal to create a great situation for me to do a good job.
Why?
In a script. The way it works is the script is already there. This is a character in the script. If they give me the job, I make it my job that this character here has to be as big as this whole project. So if you don't even see the movie School Dance, I want you to remember, whose goddamn white baby is this? And the only way that I can guarantee that you will remember my scene if you didn't remember a whole movie is if I make sure that my scenes are that good, because that's what I watched. I watched great actors. You never saw De Niro. You never saw Pesci. You never saw any of these dudes in something. You was like, nah, I don't really believe it. You sure you're the Great Gatsby? Like, no, like you believe.
All right, you all. And I'm going to stop it right there. He did say some more things about Kevin Hart, like the fact that Kevin Hart would not be in the building at the same time as him. He said when he would enter the building, basically Kevin Hart would be exiting the building. And then I also wanted to share with you that I think the news channel out in Houston also did a quick interview with some of Katt Williams' former comedian friends, and they basically all added credence to what Katt Williams was saying. I have to find, what is it, Houston? Let me see, Houston News. I don't know what channel it was, you all. I'm trying to find it now. Okay, here it is, Fox 26. So Fox 26 actually had a whole segment about Katt Williams. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you now. Here it is.
Katt Williams recently appeared on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, and he did not hold back while criticizing other comedians with the year in the game.
Everything Cedric and Ricky Smiley ever been in got canceled for not being funny. Ricky sat here and told you that they cut him out of every movie he did. They always had a reason. Right?
The conversation was nearly 3 hours long, and Williams went in on a few people, including Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and Joe Rogan.
Yes,
Williams
sure
left
did.
no stones unturned during the conversation, accusing some comics of not being talented and even alleging Cedric the Entertainer or accusing him of stealing his jokes. Was this too far or much needed wake-up call? Joining us to talk about it, our own comedians here on The Factor Uncensored, nationally known, but also based here in Houston. We have the legend himself, Al Freeman, The other legend here, Juan Villarreal, Blame the Comic, and Corliss DeLorean. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. So,
Absolutely.
Juan, we're going to begin with you because you told me not to begin with you. So I'm going to begin with you.
Okay,
Your thoughts on this, and Katt talking about so many comedians, and many people are saying, well, he's telling the truth. So your thoughts on this?
A lot of the stuff he said was true. And but like I hung out with him. I've done like over 100 shows with him, and he was really cool. I've never seen him do drugs, because people were telling me, man, he's on drugs. Like, we smoke blood. I've never seen him do drugs. And I hung out with him like the whole weekend. Like, we get there.
Smoke what?
Bud.
Bud? What is that?
Cannabis.
Got news for you. That's drugs.
No, but it's like,
I mean, well, it's basically being used around the whole entire United States at this point, and they're selling it in like dispensaries. So if that's the case, then alcohol is drugs. If that's the case, sugar and food is drugs. And also, you could say cigarettes, alcohol, sugar, a lot of things are drugs. You know, even the things that we get over the counter is drugs, y'all.
in LA was legal.
But it ain't blow.
Huh?
It ain't blow.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even really see him drink that much. Like, other comics that were with us was drink. And Isaiah, everything was there for us. Whatever we wanted, they would have gave it to us, everybody. But all we did was just smoke and mess with girls. We were 33, 34, 35. That was their thing.
Al, your thoughts about this? Because what it seems like, what Juan is saying, people are looking for excuse for the reasons for the things he say. It could be just honesty. So your thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, I think people need to realize that Katt is a brilliant person. He's a great thinker. He's a well-read guy, like he said, So this is not coming from just made up kind of. See, he's not creating some kind of narrative that doesn't exist. There's always what they say. There's the right side, the left side, and in the middle is the truth. There's a lot of truth to what he's saying. Now, did he color it?
Now you see, everybody that pretty much knew Katt Williams is saying there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. 90% of what he's saying is true. A lot of the people in the comment sections, and that's what I should have done. I should have gone through and reviewed some of the comments that were on these videos about Katt Williams. He's getting a lot of support from the people, but like a lot of the celebrities aren't going to be happy with what he's saying simply because it's revealing their true colors, and people don't like to be exposed, especially when it's things that they don't want brought into the forefront about themselves that they try to keep privately, right? So this speaks volumes about Katt Williams' character. Also, that other guy, that Mexican guy, Mr. Villarreal, I feel like I've seen him before on some comedy shows before. He looks very familiar.
A little bit, maybe, because he's an entertainer.
Right.
I've known Katt for a long time. I think I was telling Juan since 1990 when he really began his career in Oakland, California. He was known as Katt in the Hat, a great guy who was a jewelry salesman who was always generous to everyone. So
that actually coincides with what Katt Williams said, because he did admit that he was going by the name Katt in the Hat, and then I believe he said that he received a cease and desist letter saying he could not use that name anymore because of Dr. Seuss. So he simply became Katt Williams. So that story does coincide with what this guy is saying.
The angst against him right now. Now, I worked with Steve Harvey for a number of years.
Yo, looking for blanks.
Also, to add to what has been said, the fact that they're saying, well, Katt Williams actually stated that we know that Katt Williams is allegedly supposed to be from Pennsylvania, which is the East Coast, but simultaneously, he was basically being made a celebrity on the West Coast and doing like a whole lot of great things with his career. He's trying to find out if he was from the East Coast, how would he simultaneously be doing things on the West Coast to be successful in his career? He said that does not make sense. He also alleged that Kevin Hart is an industry plant, and I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the case.
You know, my dad used to say, you know what? When a man is truthful, then he has no fear.
Mhm.
Katt had no damn fear at all. I mean, he laid it out.
Now, Katt also said that a lot of times when he would walk into some of these celebrities and see them, a lot of them will put their heads down and walk off, because, the eyes are supposedly the windows to your soul. People don't like to be revealed. They don't like for you to see through them. They don't like for you to see the truth about them. So they flee. So that is another good, interesting point that he made.
Just like he was supposed to. And listen, it's nothing against them. It's not that those guys are not brilliant. It's not that Steve is not great. He is. It's not that Sid is not talented, or Kevin, or any of the guys. And we all know all those guys. We've all worked with those guys. We brought Kevin here to Houston when he did his Heart of the City. I produced that thing. But here's what I really believe. This is why I think Katt is brilliant, because Katt's getting ready to go on tour. He's getting ready to do a special. He's selling tickets. What did Pete Barnum say? He's the greatest salesman in the world. When Katt came here the last time, I believe, to NRG, it didn't go as well as he wanted it to. In other words, those 11,000 seats weren't filled up. I guarantee you, when he comes back, those 11,000 seats he might do 2 shows.
All right, Blaine, let's hear from you. And Corliss.
I was going to say just real quickly, and I wanted to know y'all's opinion because you definitely have been doing this longer than I have. But for me, I feel like a lot of the people that are not in comedy, in the comedy world, felt like it was a little bit like what's happening right now. Because if you be honest.
All right, she's giving her opinion. I'm going to kind of
writers, but like
I'm going to kind of skip through her. Sorry. But if you want to watch this, you certainly can. Just go to Houston Fox 26. It looks like Isaiah is the guy's name, uncensored. I think there's one more comic that was going to, comedian, excuse me, that was going to give his opinion.
The People's Choice. I think a lot of people would choose Katt Williams.
Okay, so I agree. Let me rewind that back.
He said that Ricky is not funny. He is funny on stage. I think that when it comes to the People's Choice, I think a lot of people would choose Katt Williams over Ricky just because.
Over all of them.
Oh, yeah, over all. Well, not Earthquake.
Oh no, over Earthquake too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's subjective.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing though. There is some truth to what was going on. Ricky leans more towards the black audience. Katt maybe has more of a diverse audience. And, there's been a lot of videos that's been floating around on the internet with a lot of, comparisons that look just alike. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I want to say that I'm one person removed, or I know the person exactly that that has said some things to me before Katt Williams said it that lets me know that there's some truth before he made it public.
Well, here's the thing.
Out of time, guys. We'll be back.
All right, y'all. So like I said, if you want to watch the rest of that video, go to Fox 26. That's Houston, Isaiah, uncensored. I hope I'm saying that correctly if you want to check out the rest of that interview. But basically, those are some comedians that has worked behind the scenes with Katt Williams, have been on the stage with him, has known him for a number of years, 10, 20 years. And they're saying that a lot of the points that he made in his interview with Shannon Sharpe have been valid points. There's a lot of credence to what Katt Williams has been speaking about in that interview. So I'm pretty sure there are going to be a lot of people that are upset right now, and they are strategizing, how to make their comeback and how to attack him. So I don't think Katt Williams is too worried about it because, like I said, he's about to go on tour, and I think he's going to have a lot of support in the arenas. I just really hope he watches out for his safety. Hope he stays blessed, and He did say that he had never done drugs before, had never been on crack, had never taken anything like that type of substance. I will say, in my personal opinion, he did have a downward spiral some years ago in his career. It was all over the internet. We saw him get attacked by, I think, a 13-year-old or 14-year-old child. Katt Williams is only like 5'5". He's not that tall. Eddie Griffin, he's another one. He's not that tall. Then you have Kevin Hart. Oh my goodness, he's like a little midget. I feel, in my personal opinion, that Katt Williams, I don't know what he was doing, but something went awry because even he was looking different. His complexion had changed. He was looking distressed. He just didn't look himself, and it definitely took a toll on him. So I don't know what that was, but he's claiming he was not on drugs. I don't know. People don't always tell you the truth. Now, I do know, like with Kevin Hart, he doesn't seem like he was on any substances. I don't get that vibe from him. But what I still stand on what I said. One thing I do not like about him is the fact that he is scared to talk about any type of political issues, and he's scared that it's going to tarnish his brand. And he tries to stay away from anything like that, anything that's controversial. Also, I feel like when I first found out about who Kevin Hart was as a comedian, I felt like he was trying too hard to be funny. And when people do that, they're not funny. As far as Steve Harvey, his stand-up, I can look at him on, some of his comedy routines and I won't even laugh. Like, I'll just have a straight face. It takes a lot for me to laugh, okay? Now, I will say Eddie Griffin has gotten me to laugh. I thought Dave Chappelle was funny in Blue Streak. I thought that Eddie Griffin was funny when he did the Michael Jackson impression. This was many years ago. Kevin Hart, he did have me laughing in Ride Along and also some of his stand-up. Katt Williams, he's just charismatic, and I feel like he has a certain charm about him that has a way with the females and the ladies. I'll just put it that way. So those are my thoughts about the comedians. As far as Ricky Smiley, one thing about him is he has like an old soul. He's funny as far as just hearing him talk in an everyday conversation because of, I don't know if it's his dialect. I don't know if it's his Southern drawl, his accent, but his diction is funny. The way that he pronounces and enunciates his words will make you laugh at him. And sometimes he's really serious when he's talking. And sometimes I don't know how women get with certain individuals and can take them seriously. That's just my personal opinion. So that's my take on it, you all. This has been an episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed my commentary. And if you want to donate, you're more than welcome to donate to the Cash App. That's BGAB Clothing with the $ in front of the B. All right, y'all. As always, I'm going to say continue to walk in your divinity. And I'm signing out. Hopefully, I'll be able to do more and more streams in the near future. But like I said, I have been extremely busy and tired behind the scenes. And it took me a whole lot of effort to come on here and do this stream. But even though I wasn't talking the entire time, I was just giving my commentary throughout it. Katt Williams did most of the talking and Charleston White. But you all, that is it. I'm going to let y'all go. Gute Nacht. Good night, everybody, and stay blessed.